Good morning. Today's message will come from the book of Romans, chapter 12. The book of Romans, chapter 12. I'd like to read to you verses 1 and 2. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the grace of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your minds, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. 2 verses. Let me read that to you again. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. This morning I would like to use for a sermon text and speak to you a little while about Christians under construction. Christians under construction. We as God's people, we are called Christians. First in Antioch, those that was following Christ, where they first heard the word Christians, that's us. We that are following God's, we are considered Christians. As Christians that we are under construction. Under construction meaning that God is working on us. God is working through us. God is working in us. I've always said, and I continue to say, I like to use these words, that we haven't always been sweet saints. We haven't always been pastors. We haven't always been good people. We haven't always been deacons and preachers and in the choir and ushers. And we have all had to go through something, and through that something we went through was construction. God has had to work on us. This morning I want to talk about God's people. I want to talk about God's children under construction, because it's a true statement that we can't help others until we help ourselves. So many times we want to go out and criticize and try to lead someone and direct someone, and we're not able to do that because we're being blocked by that plank or that board that's in our own eye. How can you get that splinter out of someone? We got that big board in our eye. Now, I don't want us to take this message wrong this morning, but know that construction is set apart to make things better. I said this morning, let's say it together. Christians under construction. Construction is set aside to make things better. I mean, every day that we have life, that God is working on us to make us better. God is working on us to improve things. We should leap for joy this morning, knowing that God has put us under construction. And not only under construction, but to make us better. I have never seen any construction. We're going to do some construction, but we're doing this to make it worse. We're doing construction so that we can tear it up. We're doing some construction that we can make the roads bad. All construction I have seen has been to make things better. This is the purpose of construction. So that whatever it is, it can be improved. Good news, we can jump for joy. We can give God some praise this morning, and knowing that we are under construction. Everybody should have something that they're going through, or something they're dealing with, or something they wish they could change and see better and be better and do better. It can be under construction. This morning, church, you and I need to know that we all have something that needs to be improved. Don't fool yourself into believing that you got it all together. Don't fool yourself into believing that just because you got this and you got that and things are going well that you don't need instruction. We are improving. We need to know that all of us have something that need to be improved. And it's a new word I found that I discovered. I want to be using it, and that's from the preachers to the people. So many times the preachers, we get in the habit that we just want to preach about the people. We're preaching to the people. We can't leave ourselves out. Things that need to be improved from the preachers to the people. Not that we all know somebody that need to be improved, but we all have something that need to be improved. It's easy to point out the next man, point out the next sister, but what about ourselves? Meaning nothing in this life is trouble-free. I remember when I was in the 70s and 80s, I worked as a mechanic, and I remember the battery that came out, and it was a battery, and they called it maintenance-free. Because before the maintenance-free batteries, you had to add acid. You had to add water. So they came up with a battery, it's called maintenance-free. Had a good name, sounded good, But even that battery wasn't maintenance free, meaning nothing in this life is trouble free. Nothing or no one is exempt from construction. We all have something that need to be improved. We all have something that someone in our life that need to be improved. Understanding that under construction is working on something. I don't know about you, but I give God many things to work on. God, I got a lot of things under my under construction list for God, for me. Understanding that under construction is working on something. Under construction is working on somebody. I got a lot of lists of names that I've given God for someone that's under construction. And not under construction, as I said, for a bad thing, but under construction to improve that whatever it was before, that through the construction, God will improve it and make it better. Y'all come on with me a little while this morning, preaching from a little different area, preaching from a different state, but I've found that I have to seek ye first the kingdom of God for all these other things that I want to be better. We have to understand that whatever it was that before that was under construction, we give it to God to improve, to make better. Isn't that good news? That's good news. Under construction, not a bad thing, because you know that something good is going to come out of it. This morning, church, I asked how many of you have some construction work going on in your life. Am I the only one have construction work going on in my life? How many of you are trying to improve something in your life? How many of you would like to see somebody improved in your life? How many of you are trying to improve something in your family? Like to see some improvement in your home? How many of you like to see some improvement in the schools, in the government? How many of you like to see some improvement in your walks of life? All of us have some improvement. We all have some things that need to be worked on. Some improvement that you would like for God to make better. This morning, church, God is telling us that too many of his children are under construction too long. And they're under construction too long because they are not giving it to God. I didn't mention this earlier, but most of, if not all, construction have a time range. I may have gotten ahead of myself, but all in construction have a time range. Meaning they're going to give you a set time that we're going to begin. Construction going to begin on August 24th. And then they have a time that it's going to be completed. Should be completed by September 2027. But that's not always the case, because with delays comes improvement, comes inclement weather come about, and the project can take longer than they thought it would be in the beginning. So we have to understand that some construction is going to take a little longer than you thought it would be. Some construction going to be a little longer because of some delays. Going to be a little longer because of some interruption. Going to be a little longer because of sometime I and my getting in the way. Sometimes God's children are under construction too long. Meaning that when longer that they're under construction, they become content in their lives. They become content in their arrangements of life. They have settled for whatever. When you become content, you begin to settle for whatever come your way. It's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. It's just the way they are. It's just the way it is. They become content. Become content in their arrangements in life. They have settled for whatever the adversary has put in their way. They have accepted whatever the world have offered them. This morning, church, meaning that instead of God's people getting back on the right road, they have become content with whatever has been offered. A lot of God's children are drifted away because of contentment. A lot of God's people are not willing to help and follow and do what God wants them to do because they have become content, not realizing that anyone that isn't following Christ with a sincere heart, anyone that's not listening to God, following Christ with their mind and soul, they all are in the construction, all need to realize they're in construction and need a rapid improvement. Let me say that again, that anyone that isn't following Christ with a sincere heart, with a sincere mind, with a sincere soul, are under construction and in need of a rapid improvement. Need to be done right away. We are speaking about our sermon text today. Christians under constructions. Talking about you, talking about me. This morning, God wants you to reflect on your life when you accepted Christ. Y'all remember back when you first accepted Christ? I talk about it all the time. We used to carry our little Bibles. We used to walk around talking about saying scriptures and prayers. And I mean, we were just spiritually fed when we first accepted Christ. Then I want you to think about who, what, and where you had to give up when you accepted Christ. Think about the who's. Think about all those things, what you had to give up. Think about all those places where you had to stop going. Think about the changes that God sent in your life. I say that to say this. Those changes were you under construction. Understanding that the places you like to go, you wasn't able to go there anymore. Those people you thought that your best friends that you used to love to hang around with, 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock, midnight, to the next day. Those people you used to run with, you had to separate from. You had to let go. You had to pick up new friends. Your ways that you used to have. Oh, yeah, we all have a way. Some of those ways we try to bring out, still try to bring out. Those ways we had, our thoughts we had to let go of. And the reason we had to let go of them because God we was under construction. As you first accepted Christ, there was a big change in your life. Yeah, God was working in our life. That change that he was doing, that change that we was going through, there was construction. It was a work in progress. That's why I say I have no problem saying that we have always been sweet saints. We have always been preachers. We have always been deacons. God has had to work on us. So many times we want the youth to believe. We want the young children to believe that we always been right. We always knew the right way. We always followed. Wasn't true. We had to go through construction. And that's our sermon text today. We've had to be Christians under construction as well. And we are still Christians under construction. We did not just become a new man in Christ Jesus. We did just not become a new Christian. We did not just become a child of God. We didn't just step out of the old world into the new world. We didn't just leave our old ways into the new ways. It taken time. As I said, construction is a progress, has a time range. We're going to begin this day. We should be finished by this day. That change that we went through was a process. Some it took days, some months, some years. But the good thing about it, the construction took place. We had to go through some construction. And believe me, to become a new man in Christ Jesus, there was construction work that only God could do. Church, y'all come on with me now. Let me say this one more time. We had to go through some construction. And believe me, to become a new man in Christ Jesus, there was construction work that only God could do. What are you talking about, Pastor? We couldn't do it by ourselves. That's what we see right now. A lot of times people say, I'm going to come to church. I'm going to start doing this. I may not come to church, but I'm going to start giving more. I'm going to start helping more. But I need to first I got to stop doing this. First, I need to stop going here. First, I need to stop acting like this. They have to learn, just like we learned. Through our construction, we couldn't do it by ourselves. Some of our construction was nobody but Jesus. Even our parents, even our friends, look, that couldn't have been nobody but Jesus change you. There was nobody but Jesus could have you talking like you talk today. Nobody but Jesus could have you acting like you act today, because they saw what we were like on that other side. They saw who we were before we accepted Jesus. Nobody but Jesus. The construction that turned us around was nobody but Jesus. That construction that taken us out of that old man into that new man was nobody but Jesus. What we did, how we were, who we were, whom we served, what we loved to do, what we thought was right. Church, I stand today to tell you There was nobody but Jesus that turned me around. Nobody but Jesus took me through that construction. Nobody but Jesus. We have to understand there's some things that win our life that there's nobody but Jesus that can fix it. As I look at our point of construction and all that we can be today has been because of Jesus' construction, because of Jesus' work going on in our life. Something on the inside, that construction working on the inside of me. How God was changing us, how God was molding us, how God had to work on us. As I said, some of us He had to work on a little longer, but the construction was completed. Meaning you need to know today, God is daily improving things in our life. God is daily trying to get us on the smooth roads of our life. God is daily trying to get us on the straight and narrow. You know, roads under construction can be rough. Roads under construction can be horrible. Roads under construction can make you not even want to go that way. But in order for God to continue working in our lives, we had to be willing to endure some bumps and rough times in our life. We had to go through some things so we would know that we'd be able to tell somebody that I didn't come out of this alone. I didn't come through this construction phase by myself. It was nobody but Jesus that turned me around. We all have had to go through some bumps, some rough times in life. But through it all, we was willing to endure. The question I asked today, and I share with you today, that through our construction, we have to be willing to meet God halfway. Through our construction, we have to be willing to give God something to work with. Through our construction, we have to be willing to put something in. We have to be willing to give God some service, give God some time. We have to be willing to give God some of our finance. We have to be willing to give God some praise. We have to be willing to give God some worship time. We have to give God something to work with through our construction. I say that to say this today, church, to the listener on the sound of my voice. We cannot allow ourselves to become content with just life, just living life, just sitting here getting old, taking it one day at a time, doing the same old thing. We cannot allow ourselves to become content with just living life. Neither can we stay under construction too long. We must be willing to give God something to work with. We must be willing to let go. We must be willing to deny. We must be willing to let God. And this is a problem I see today with a lot of God's children. They have become overwhelmed with what the world has to offer. I'm not meddling, I'm just preaching to you this morning. They have become so overwhelmed with what the world has to offer. They have become so overwhelmed with social media. Not even adults, but they didn't even allow the children, the babies, young children, to become overwhelmed with social media. I said last week, I talked about TikTok, talked about Twitter, talked about Facebook, talked about YouTube, and on and on. They have become overwhelmed with those things of the world. They have become content with running with the blessing. They have become content with basically using God. God only, I call you when I need you. God, when I go through difficult times, when hardships come, when I'm running low, when I'm running out, I call you. They have become content with using God. But I've said many times, I continue to say, God is too good of a God to be used. As long as God is giving, they're okay. As long as they have enough to get by with, they're okay. And what happens in this stage, they find themselves content and under construction too long. And this is our message today. Just as God did not intend for you to stay down in the valley of life, likewise did God not intend for you to stay under construction too long. God every day is working on you. God every day is working on your building, working and improving things in your life. Give God some praise every day, whether you ask God or not. Don't you? Whether you're serving God, whether you're that Christian God wants you to be, whatever you're doing in spite of, God is every day working to improve things in your life, improve things in your family life, improve things in your children, in your spouse, in your going to and from. Now I ask the question unto you. Are you meeting God halfway? Are you meeting God halfway? God is definitely doing his part. Are you meeting God halfway? What are you doing to show God you're not what you used to be? What are you doing to show God that you don't go where you used to go? What are you doing to show God that you're not content with the things in the world? What are you doing to show God that you're not slipping backwards? What are we doing to show God, to let God know that you're giving him something to work with? Today I want you to know that God is ready to mend your bumpy roads. God is ready to make things better. God is ready to pave your way and make your road smooth again. Before I go any farther, I want you to focus on your roads today. What road are you on today? I'm sure that we all have had to drive down some bad roads. We have had to drive down some roads, and we said to ourselves, I hope we never have to go down that road again. Meaning, whether you're in Bartlett, Taylor, Granger, even sitting here in Oklahoma, surrounding areas, we can do a survey and someone will be able to tell us, don't go down that road. It will tear your car up. My wife and I was headed to watch the game, and I told her, just take this road right here. Take this road. Went behind this road, and we got to the road. She said, honey, I can't go across that. I said, we're in the truck. Go ahead. It's bumpy. So there's some rough roads in every town. We all have heard this before. Don't go down this road. It will bottom your car out. Don't go down that road. It has potholes. Don't go down there. I beg you, don't you go down that road. Trying to paint a picture here. We all have heard this before. The point I'm trying to make today, those deep holes, those bumpy roads, that torn up pavement did not happen overnight. Didn't just wake up and the pothole was there. That bumpy road did not just wake up and it was there. Church, it happened one car at a time. It happened one truck at a time, one tractor at a time, one bus at a time, whatever it may be. Each time something drove across what started out as a small pothole grew into being a major pothole. One vehicle at a time. Pastor, what are you talking about? I say that to say this. Neither will us under construction. Neither did us as we become preachers and deacons, and neither us as we become parents. Neither us as we become mentors. Neither did us as we became better people. Did not happen in one day. And neither what we go through will be repaired in one day. But to get the road smooth in our life, for God to get us back on the right track, for God to get us back on the straight and narrow, sometime it will be a day after a day. Sometime it will be a night after a night. It will be through some times. It will be through it. But one thing I need you to know today, regardless of the size, regardless of the damage of the road, under construction, there's a limited time to get the job done. Oh, it's a big hole. Oh, it's so many. Even with that being said, it's a limited time to get the job done. One thing is certain. That company have to know they cannot stay under construction too long. I say to you all today, whatever you're going through, God can help you come through your construction. Whatever you're going through that's taking you away from God, just as those potholes didn't happen overnight, you didn't just walk away from God overnight. You didn't just forsake him overnight. You did not just forget about him overnight. It's taken some days, some weeks, some months. But God can get you back on the right track again. As we look at the things that have caused us to go into construction as a Christian, we need to know there's a way out. Regardless of the disobedient, regardless of doing your own thing, regardless of forsaking. As we look at the constructions as a Christian, we need to know that regardless what led us there, there is a way out. That way is Christians under construction. That way is nobody but Jesus. And no, God did not approve you to stay under construction too long. You need to know today and rejoice knowing that there's a appointed time for everything under the sun. There is a appointed time. There is a season. For surely we have been through some earthly bumps. For surely we have gone through some things. For surely we have endured some things. For surely we have had some bruises in life. We've been wounded. We've had some physical aches and pains. We've had some trying times. We've encountered some good days. We've encountered some bad days. We've encountered times we've had to climb up the rough side of the mountain. But there have been those days when our adversary had to even try to steal our mind. There's been times where the adversary, you've had to ask yourself, am I going crazy? Is it me? Is it them? Is it me? There's been those days when our adversary has tried to steal our mind. Days we have had some ups and downs. There have been days that we have limped through life, not knowing if we were going to make it to the end of the day. There was those days that if we could I just can't wait to end it. I just can't wait for tomorrow to come. I'm just ready to start over again. These were the days that led to Christians under construction. Even every ache and pain, every hardship, even every problem and circumstance and people, we live our lives hoping that they would get better, hoping that they would stop hurting, hoping that it will eventually go away, believing that can it be a dream, not realizing all that we hold from God will only cause us to stay under construction too long. A lot of things that we go through because we're not letting go and giving it to God. And we have to understand that the longer we hold on to those things, the longer we will stay under construction. And not only under construction, the more we will become content. God wants you to know that through his son Jesus that there is a way out. Somebody is suffering with something. Somebody is dealing with something. Somebody say, you just don't know, Pastor. Somebody say, I've never seen anything like this. Somebody say, I can't believe he or she acting like this. Regardless what it is, church, there is a way out. God is ready for his children to come out of construction. And God is ready for them to get back on that road that leads to Jesus. Ready for them to get back on that smooth and narrow road that lead to let the Holy Spirit guide you, that road that leads you to keep your hand in Jesus' hand. To do this, Romans 12:1 has the answer for us to come up out of construction. And it says that be willing, be ready to present your bodies a living sacrifice. How? Holy and acceptable unto God, not unto man, not unto yourself, but unto God. To do these things, construction signs must go back out. And those construction signs that God has put out today is Romans 12:1. This is the route to getting your construction taken care of. This is the route. This is a presentation to getting your construction completed. Then will you be able to give God your reasonable service. That's your construction that's going to turn things around. Giving God your reasonable service. And when you give God your reasonable service, God will get you motivated for him again. He will get you back on the right road again. Because I found, and I'm a living testimony, that serving God will pay off. God wants you to know that Jesus is the sign. You know, before they began construction, they put a sign out there. Road construction began, and I told y'all earlier, beginning this day, ending this day. Be ready for detours. They put out cones to reroute, change things. God wants you to know that Jesus is the sign that he has placed out in the world for you today. Not only did he place it out, he placed out there for others to see about you, see through you, see through me, that we are his children, and that we are and we have been under construction. And the construction signs that are placed for us to follow on our sermon text today, Romans 12:1. Present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God. That is your reasonable service. And then after you do that, talk about coming out of being content, and be not conformed. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your minds, that ye may prove what is good. Oh, prove what is good. Be not deceived. Every good and perfect gift come from above. By renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is good and acceptable will of God. And doing this, being under construction, will pay off. Church, you're a Christian under construction. God is working right now to improve you. God is working right now to improve something. God is working right now to improve somebody. You've given God something, or maybe you haven't given it to God. But right now you need to know that if you want it improved, if you want it worked on, if you want it looking good, if you want it smooth again, if you want it back on the right track again, I invite you today to give it to God. Give it to God and let God give the improvement. I pray and trust today that something's been said that will help you along this Christian journey. I pray that something be said that have uplifted you in spirits. Not only lifted up you in spirit, but I said something that you would not only hide it in your heart, but you would share it with someone else. Because I always say that a blessing isn't a blessing until you share it with someone else. I pray that you will be blessed this day. Not only you, but you and your family. And not only this day, but also the days to come. May God continually to richly bless you and your family. May God bless you all. God bless you.